Good morning, everyone. Holy cow, my shirt matches the chair. I'm just blending in. I'm just a talking head. Hoo-wee! What a journey. I hope you all are well today. It's been a dance between wonderful things like grief and happiness and awareness and pain in my body and feeling insane. But it's all part of the process. Starting to feel very, very calm. Starting to very, very much love myself. And starting to be completely aware that there's way more than just the human experience. We're born here. We're given a set of expectations about what a good life is from our childhood, and so we don't question that. And it's kind of an interesting process. We go into this world with this map, and it might be different for different cultures, but here in North America, the map is do good in school, listen to your parents, graduate, and then move into university, get a good education so that you can have a good career, get a good job, find a wife, have some kids, get a house, then get the boats and the toys and the trailers and the vacation properties, and then where you go from there, oh yeah, well, you're going to retire and everything's going to be great, and it's kind of a societal program. Now, if you're in a poorer country, that may be a completely different thing, just getting ahead or anything. But when we're a little more entitled here in North America, that's the story. And how many of us ever really question that story? We get in the middle of it, we get busy with it, and we start to take on so many other beliefs. We start learning about how the world works and what's allowed and what's not allowed. And a lot of that's programmed against us. You get a good job and taxes just go up. As you earn more money, you end up working harder and you find out you're making no more money than you did before, or just a small amount, even though you're making substantial amounts more. So you're paying these people above us that think they deserve it, and it's a cage. It keeps us in a slavery. We get into a marriage. I grew up Catholic, and the marriage says, okay, you got to find someone, but there's no sexuality allowed until you're married. Well, in this world of people with a lot of problems and other things, that can be crazy. So a lot of people are jumping past that, and they're having a lot of fun in university and high school and all these things trying to find their partner. But meanwhile, we have no sex education. We have no things that teach us to deepen our relationship with others. So we end up with these crashing marriages afterwards. And a lot of times we come into relationship to do our inner work, but most people don't have the tools to be able to do their inner work with a partner. So it ends up just a new act of re-traumatization. And living through all these experiences, I got a massively good career as an engineer. I worked for Nortel Networks. I made 6 figures, all these kind of things. And the company just ate me alive. I gave and gave and gave, and I had no time for my family. So it was like you're picking these things that are supposed to broaden you and other things, and they just suck you dry almost sometimes. A marriage can suck you dry sometimes when the love isn't shared and people aren't doing the work and they don't have the tools to be able to move forward. Things like trailers and houses and other things that you buy, we buy them all on credit, and then it slowly sucks you dry in interest. It's a process of human experience that's giving us awareness of ourselves and giving us awareness of the whys of how the world works. And it's interesting because as you drill deeper and you drill deeper, you find out that life has nothing to do with us. It has a lot to do with meeting expectations of family members, of society. I see so many people that are single, and it's just like they have this like obsessive desire to get married or have somebody in their life or have somebody, and these people aren't even respecting them, and they're angry So we have this societal expectation of pleasing, of meeting these expectations, and we're hollow afterwards. We give all of our love to another person, but we never loved ourselves. Well, we were never taught to love ourselves. Who taught you to love yourself? Self-love, maybe in catechism or something as part of Catholic school, you were introduced to the term, but nobody ever taught me what self-love was. I've met some people along the way that respected themselves and loved themselves, and it was beautiful. It gave me an example of here's a person that's living for themselves. How many of you live to pay the bills, to pay the rent, to pay the mortgage, to make your kids happy, to make your spouse happy, and you get to the end of the day and you're about to lay down to bed, you're like, holy frick, I never even got a moment for myself yet. And then there's this little bit of sadness, and you try and take the positive from all the beautiful experiences you had with everybody else, but sometimes you feel depleted. You've given so much love, and the other people lovingly accepted it, but they didn't know how to return it, or they weren't taught how to return it in their family, or their past traumas wouldn't allow it. So we end up with these deficits. And then we hit these midlife crisis points that people say make people crazy or whatever. In their 40s, they start to just want for themselves a little bit. And then society judges those people in midlife crisis. Geez, they're going nuts. They're so selfish. Oh, how could they do that to their spouse and kids? And then they're ostracized. And then dark nights of the soul come along and smash and crash. It's like you're bad for doing all these things of choosing yourself and starting to become aware. And nobody respects that. Somebody that's been through the process will respect the hell out of it. They'll sit and look at you and say, holy crap. And then you look back at your life as you're examining what you've done and what you've learned. Oh, it was a lot of hell. It was a lot of crashing, divorces, anger, frustration, dark nights of the souls, being suicidal, doing all these things that made you separate from the world so that you could see yourself. And maybe it brought a lot of bad dating relationships, a lot of other relationships that just didn't feel good because you were finding yourself. You were finding that the human experience is about a lot of gritty edges. And we come here as a soul to define ourselves and find the best path through this process that we design for ourselves. Who we're going to meet, who we're going to love, how that love's going to look, what your jobs are going to be, what major roadblocks are you going to face in this life, and how do you deal with them? And what defines me in finding all that is the times when I was in integrity, when I honored myself. Maybe I had a hard argument or a hard discussion with someone and it made them feel sad or mad or whatever, but if it was for the highest good of both, is that a bad thing? Our human experience will sit and look at it and say, holy frick, I could have done that better, or if I only known, or whatever. And we just sit in this, all I can call it is masturbation with our thoughts of the past, of how it didn't work out and how it was bad. But really, you can't change it. It was all perfect, and it led you to a better awareness. So the next time that showed up in your life, you made a better choice, or you stood with new power for yourself that helped both people move forward. So I've struggled the last little while just looking at all the pain and suffering and breakup and different things. I had bankruptcies of businesses underneath me. I had divorces, and I thought I hurt my kids, and my business went to almost failure many, many times, having to move all the time, losing my house, losing all these things that define me, only to find that none of them did. The real soul in here, the part that shines, the part that people are drawn to, is my rawness and my realness of who I am and acceptance of all of these things. And I've got to this point in the last week or two, and especially these last few days, where there's a lot of grief, but a lot of compassion that has to be given for this body. This body, this incarnation, this person I call Paul, had a lot of shitty stuff happen. And it looked like my world fell apart and my life fell apart. But at the same time, this beautiful soul, this beautiful understanding, this beautiful awareness of myself, of accepting who I am and what's going on in my life and that kind of thing, this compassion came out. I was laying in bed and this massive loving compassion came out and spread across my body and just accepted all the shit that I can't change and that I'm still mourning and keeps happening to me and it hasn't worked out. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, how could I become me without any of those things? And that's the magic of it. It's gritty, it's painful, it feels like breakups and hurt and struggle and pain. But without that shaking, without that hitting bottom, the pounding my head against the wall, how could I have become this person with this awareness, with this calmness, with this ability to be, this ability to look into all those negative sounding societally judgment things, and then standing up against all societal judgment and saying, I don't give a fuck what people think. I'm going to do this because it feels right for me, and I know it's for the highest good of all of us. Some people would look at me and see my marriage and all this and say, holy shit, there was a failure. No, my marriage, when I divorced, it was from love. It was from love of me and her. We were dying as roommates because of trauma that was undisclosed inside. And somebody had to make a choice because I would have died. I guarantee that. And I don't know what would have happened with her. But I made those choices, even though they were painful, for the love of all the people involved. And in the end, I thought I hurt my kids. I taught my kids the most magnificent lesson from that, of standing up for yourself and choosing when things hurt, no matter how hard I tried to discuss and resolve all these things and save that marriage, when the other party wasn't aware enough to be able to even understand there was a problem, but still didn't want to be physical with me, I was trapped. So I made a choice. And this magic happened underneath. It labeled me in a whole bunch of ways. Oh, I'm not worthy of sexuality. I'm not worthy of having a relationship. I'm not worthy of having beautiful, loving people in my life. I know my wife loved me in a way that wasn't as aware for me, and I loved her in a way that she wasn't as aware of. Love languages, other things that you can say. Was it a mistake? No. Not one of it was a mistake. To see her shine afterwards, to see her standing in her power, to see all the crap I went through for the last almost 10 years of my life that almost destroyed me and wanted me to die because I had so much against these societal conditions. I didn't meet my parents' expectations. I hurt a woman that was my wife. I hurt my kids. All my friends ostracized me and left me. But something magic happened. I came through it. And all those people respect me. Even the people that I thought I hurt respected me. That's the grittiness of a human life. It's not all love and light. Fuck, if you just went and you met your soulmate the minute you walked in the door and everything was love and roses, you'd just be a goopy, sloppy, whatever you are of all your traumas, and you'd be puking on them. Because the purpose of coming here is to clean those things up. We didn't come to be perfect and to find love immediately. No, that's the happily ever after story. But when you find love, and it's from loving yourself and standing in your power of all these things that were hurts and pains and sufferings and all this kind of stuff, and you can still love, fucking that's the person you want to have in your life. That's the person that will stand in the fire of damnation to be by your side. And that's the person that I am. And it's hard to look at that and sit here with all this power inside my body and with all this love for myself and this desire to give and fill the people around me, and then feel broken because those relationships aren't there, because those people that came along for the ride and we had to learn lessons through or whatever maybe still resent me. I can't see it for the light it was, have had to walk away because they're not comfortable around me, because I shine in this different way that makes them different or their awareness different. And I'm here to love. I deserve love. I did nothing wrong to get here. It's magic, the soul that shines within, and the thing that draws a lot of people to come and want to listen and talk and see me vulnerable and sometimes crying and painful and all that kind of stuff is because I'm real. I don't hide it. I don't go behind a mask and pretend to be someone, a guru or somebody special that people should follow. I'm a man that went through the experiences that I have to get here, and I'm in integrity by being those things, and I shine out to all of you from that integrity. And that integrity includes pain and crying and sadness and feeling struggle, feeling small sometimes. But underneath, the core, the foundation is pure, is innocence, is wanting the best for people, wanting to be truthful all the time, wanting to be those things that maybe make other people feel uncomfortable, bring into the room the things that are scary. That's me. I talk about everything so that I can heal it and move through it, and the magic happens. That's me. That's this man that was underneath, that maybe looked like flawed and looked like fucked up and looked like he was crazy. But that's me. I found me. That's the awakening journey. Finding the piece that's underneath, that's in integrity, that's got a rock solid foundation, that knows what they want and is really clear on it and will stand and hold in integrity until that shows up in their life. That's me. And hopefully that maybe helps you understand me and what the awakening process is. I'm a beautiful man. I love myself. I felt broken so many times. But I'm here. I'm witnessing. I'm standing up against all the things that I felt before. And I choose to release them right now. I'm not bad. I didn't make any mistakes. Oh, it was all perfection to make me. So I can stand up and I can rise up and shine my light in front of other people without any shame, without any guilt, and just shine. That's awakening. I don't know how your journey is. I'd love to hear it, but that's awakening. It's dirty and messy and full of pain and what was felt like suffering, so that you can find a better way and choose you so that it can be pure. So I love you all. I hope your journey's going okay, and I see you if it's messy and gritty and painful and full of vomit and sadness. And if it's love and light, great for you. But don't struggle. Don't think you're bad if it's messy and gritty. We came here to be messy and gritty, and I've lived many lifetimes, and fuck, the masochist in me loves to build it really painful and tricky. Not because it adds value, but fuck, when you get through that, you come out the other side, you know damn well who you are and what's important. So stand with it. Rise up. You got this. Look at my smile. Look at my heart. Look at my beam. It's all worth it in the end. So love you. Talk to you soon. I live to love. Thank you, Mom. Have a good one.